Hello, hello, hello. We're back with Action Taimanin. And, let's do it.
Taimanin Mizuki Yukikaze no kage no you na mono yo.
Oh yeah, let's do this. I accidentally clicked my Discord. I don't want to do that. Let me open that up real quick. There we go. I like that animation. That's a cool animation. And give her a bunch of gifts.
なかなかやるわね。
All right. First things first. Let's see. I was prepared for this. Not completely prepared because I didn't want to buy the package, but
道具管理が大変なら手伝おうか。
hell yeah. Got all the outfits.
出立前にみんなに顔を見せてやれ。
Let's see. And then sorry, White, but you're getting taken out. Do I want? Yeah, I'll put Shooter on the right side. Or left. Rinko's right. And then I will put Yukikaze here.
私が代表だなんて納得。少し休むか。
Alright, now here comes the hard parts. Heaven's Road, I want this. So, let's try to get it. I only got 7 gacha coins? Can I get more? Can I get more for free? That's the question. Wait, do we have a new event? I don't think we do. Oh, we do. Pretty sure I have. Pretty sure I have this already. Yeah, I do have it already. Okay, alright. Well, you know what that means. You know, I really like the actual, like, plain look of these. So it's really nice. Like, it's really nice and sleek. I like that. That's really nice. And then, obviously, it matches with her outfit. So that's like a plus too. But let's mix it up a bit. Wait. Oh, I can change your hairstyle. Okay, so you know, I like how it flares out like this. This is nice. I do like this. Okay. I also have this. Don't use this. Well, I know what I need to do. I'll figure it out later. Alright, so let's switch to the Rebellion weapon, because Rebellion weapon is going to be much better. What happens if I do this, though? Can I switch to this? Because I think this one... That's nice. Yeah, actually, hang on, what's a Plasma Punisher do? Plasma Punisher crit damage by 40%. Oh, that's not bad. Let's enhance this too while we're at it. Okay, alright, let's see. I think I'll just stick with the 4-star for now. The SR weapon. I should probably close one. Now let me do that real quick. There we go. All right, let's do this. Let's see. Can she equip 3 support? No, she can't. Okay. Let's see, EXP training facility. I want to get her to 3 supporters immediately, so we're gonna use this real quick. Perfect. Type shooter, huh? Okay. Materials. I should have some skill points here that I can use. Yep. No, that's actually. Oh, she's surely capped out. No, of course she is. Optical camo. Interesting. Alright, so what do we start with? Mjolnir Impact, Thunderblade Frenzy, Type Shooter. Okay, so that's the combo one. I'm not a big fan of that animation. Blinking Thunderstep. Oh, that's cool. Lightning Blade Akatsuki. Interesting, so she's got self-sustain on suppress on red builds. Lightning Watts. I'm not a big fan of her, like, her neutral stance. So let's see. Hides body for 6 seconds using optical camouflage and recovers HP by 2% of the max HP. When slot effects are applied, reappears while using melee or ranged attacks depending on the output level and instantly recovers 10% of max HP. That's not bad. Huh. Let's try green build first.
それがあなたの作戦ね。い
Optical.
い判断じゃない？なるほど。それがあなたの作戦ね。いい判断じゃない？戦闘か。
Let's see. Characters to debuff, no debuff.
頑張って踊りますね。
She is a human character.
あら、お呼びみたいね。
Yeah, she's a human character.
君か。出立前にみんなに顔を見せてやれ。
Let's see. The skill damage. I want skill cooldown. Where's level 18? Let's see. I should upgrade Parrot, or Parrot. Let's do this real quick. Let's get her to max level.
こっちは戦闘苦手系なんだから、あんま頼りすぎんなよ。まあまあ強くなれたかな。こっちは戦闘苦手系なんだから、あんま頼りすぎんなよ。ちぇ、ここまで来ると少しは働かないといけないじゃんね。こっちは戦闘苦手系なんだから、あんま頼りすぎんなよ。
Interesting.
君か。さ、
Alright, let's do the event story.
準備はできている。それがあなたの判断なら。
First stage. Okay, hang on. There aren't many who remember exactly what happened at the battle in the UFS base. The fight between the task force and the high-ranked demons. Igawa Sakia and her friend Kanazuki Sora both witnessed the fight and are the few to remember it. They accompanied the task force but could only watch from afar, not joining the battle. Asuka, are you alright? Quit distracting me, Fuma, I'm just getting warmed up. Even as she said that, it was apparent to anyone her breathing was ragged, as if it could stop at any moment and her reactions were gradually slowing. I know this is a rerun, but did I actually do this one? I could have sworn I did. Give me one moment. I want to double check, because if I've read this story on stream before, I'm gonna just skip to the fighting. Let's see here. Action. Taimanin. Adolescent Special Camp. Trip down memory lane. White Days over Taimanin. This one's just called Taimanin Tuesday. Clone Yukikaze training arc on Evil Alliance. Year of the Snake. Not over yet. No, I don't think I did this one on stream, it looks like. Shadow behind this scene. Munekata. Destination Gosha. Taimanin Tuesday. Yeah, it doesn't look like I did this one on stream. Alright, we're going back into it. Even as she said that, it was apparent to anyone, her breathing was ragged as if it could stop at any moment, and her reactions were gradually slowing. If not for her android arm and leg, she would have struggled to move at all. I know, it seems like he's unable to cast a protective barrier around him because he's been damaged. Try to create an opening. He wasn't worried, he was pushing her harder than ever before. Maybe she did not expect Fumako Taro to say that, or she was simply grateful that he was still allowing her to fight. Leave it to me, I still have a trick up my sleeve. Asuka smiles and points both her arms forward. She took the same stance as before, the particle cannon firing position. I won't fall for that again, Edwin Black exclaims, and attempts to flee, slipping into the darkness and shadows of the night. Even for a high-ranking demon, there's no room to withstand the torrent of Taimanin particles head-on. A thunderous, piercing sound erupted right beside him, painting the darkness a deep blue like the sky at dawn. Now! Black, huh? Oh. It wasn't the particle cannon. Edwin's black left arm, specifically the most troublesome one, the hand gripping a magic wheel used for long-range attacks, was severed. What the? Dragon fangs! Using Asuka's skill as bait, Sue's small but speedy blade had sliced Edwin Black's flesh. She immediately went for another arm, but in that fleeting moment, his remaining three intercepted her attack. Let's use faster, vampire. Don't you underestimate me, human. Even with one arm lost, Edwin Black's remaining three arms skillfully wielded their weapons. However, in extremely close combat, within the range of Sue, who was considered the strongest in the task force, those intricate weapons maneuvers became awkward and constrained. I don't think this... Hey Zydo, and hey Metal Wolf, how's it going? I don't think this translation's very good. And the reason I say this is because the way it's phrased, it makes it sound like that Sue is the strongest of the task force. But I think what they mean to say is that she's the strongest in extremely close combat. Because the strongest in the task force would be either Asagi or Shiranui. But here, I mean, it's pretty obvious that they're trying to say Su Jinglei is the best in the extremely close combat, so I think this is not worded the best. She was too close. Close enough that he couldn't swing his weapons properly. Yeah, that's a thing. Taking advantage of her small frame, Sue maintained that distance, forcing Edwin Black to retreat in an attempt to create space. Clearly Asagi is the strongest in the task force, heck, even the entire Taimanin. That's true. Asagi is probably the strongest of them all. Man, I guess that begs a question. Who would be second? Shiranui, maybe? Because it said Shiranui is on par with Asagi. Will overwhelm you. Sue's fist and Kurenai's twin blades. Kurenai does not wield twin blades. This is incorrect because I know what Kurenai wields, and she does not wield twin blades. And intensified the momentum of the attack, forcing even Edwin Black to remain on the defensive. The towering black figure clearly struggled to keep up with the fight, but Sue and Kurenai refused to give him any space. In the meantime, Asuka's charge was complete. Let's end this. Finish him, Asuka, Sue, Kurenai. I'll let you finish him. Okay. It feels like Asuka's art is a lot lower resolution than all the others, because you can see that it's like kind of blurry here. Like she's really blurry compared to everyone else. I kind of wish they would fix this. Ultra particle cannon, maximum burst. From the ends of Asuka's arms, a torrent of particles larger than before blasted toward Edwin Black. Black and white collide, producing a sound that is so loud that it mutes even the agonizing screams. This is clever. A light so pale as if it were the bright light from the moon swallowed the dark, and continued to disintegrate everything from the ground to boulders in this line of fire before it disappeared. Maybe because Asuka's art comes from Taimanin Sagi 3. Yeah, that wouldn't be surprising. It's probably just like a reused asset. Their fight, it was legendary. Will I be able to fight like that right now? Thinking this Saki Ua size. That's a minor typo right there. It was impossible. Sakia had an idea of her skills. Then, maybe in a few years, even if I become their age, it's probably going to be difficult. Such spirit, such energy, and such an unyielding desire for victory. For the current Sakia is her own forever out of reach, something she could only feel endless envy for. I want to become strong. Did you say something? With that voice, her thoughts returned to reality. That's right. Right now, I'm taking part in the selection test to be chosen for the escort mission. It's nothing. I was just thinking of something. But Sakia now couldn't drop the feeling that her feelings were somewhere else because... Oh, I guess we'll be able to pass the test anyhow, said Kanazuki Sora, smiling. Every time Sakia saw her smile directed at her, she turned around as if she wasn't interested. This is nothing. Getting worked up over a simple test like this. Aren't you letting your guard down too much? I'll be careful. To Kanazuki Sora, this mission might actually be an easy one. Not mentally, but physically. With her skills, this test is a piece of cake to her. Compared to the tension of real combat, the atmosphere of the test felt remarkably lax. Even Sakia herself was feeling it, meaning Sora would feel a bigger difference. Don't forget, our objective is to pass this test and get picked for the mission. Yeah. Thank you, Sakia-chan, for your concerns. It's a partner test after all. If you fail, I fail. However, with the way Sakia is now, even if she lets her guard down, she'll pass the test with ease. Did that battle come to mind because Sora carries the same presence as the seniors from back then? She envied that. She was jealous, hating the dark emotions welling up inside her. Sakia's gaze sharpened. From a young age, Sakia was raised as a Taimanin. It was her fate to become one. The name Igawa carried that weight. The Igawa clan was one of the 3 great Taimanin clans. Though Sakia was from a branch of the clan, she was still an Igawa all the same. She was expected to excel, burdened with the duty of becoming a distinguished Taimanin. That life was grueling, and for Sakia, who had yet to awaken her ninja art, it was especially painful. But it became even more unbearable on the day Kanazuki Sora awakened her ninja art. Sora was just an ordinary girl living an ordinary life until the day she awakened to particles. She's only been living as a Taimanin for a year now, a stark contrast to Sakia, who's been stacking accomplishments as soon as she was old enough. And yet Sakia felt a certain sense of kinship with Sora. She had been abandoned by her family, losing everything. Sora had lost everything as well. Her family had been murdered. At first, Sakia taught Sora how to live as a Taimanin and trained alongside her. She thought they had become friends. Sora still hadn't dropped some of her habits as an ordinary person and zones out from time to time during training, even during tests. Did I read that correctly? Even in tests, sorry. To Sakia, Sora had felt like a younger sister, like someone she needed to protect. But after awakening her powers, she's been improving non-stop, and before Sakia knew it, Sora was walking way ahead of her. Anyway, once we pass this test, we'll be assigned an important mission, so I'm going to do my best in this. Okay, that's some fighting spirit, Sakia-chan. Of course. In this test, I will prove myself, because if I don't, then, to you, I will be an ordinary person. Being overtaken by her, the mere thought tightened Sakia's chest and with a painful sense of anguish. I feel like this whole inferiority complex thing that Sakia has might be leading up to like an arc where Sakia actually becomes an enemy, like even temporarily. A few days ago, in Gosho Academy Middle School, Sakia, who had returned to Japan after completing her training in the UFS, resumed her daily life as a student Taimanin. Sora has plot armor. That's true. I mean, I know Sakia has a 3D model, but was she an enemy? Like, I feel like she was a boss at some point. Sakia, who had returned to Japan after completing her training in UFS, resumed her daily life as a student Taimanin. Life as a student training as a Taimanin. On top of this, Sakia was training twice as much as other Taimanins her age. How old is she? It was an intense training hidden away from everyone, one that felt like she was chipping away at her own body. She's middle school. She's a boss on some floor of the tower. Okay, I think there's an event where she's a boss too. Even today, she will head to a remote location like the mountains after class to train. How about heading to Miyazaki City later? There's a new crepe shop that'll open in front of the station. Ooh, that's the one that's famous overseas. Was it today? I totally forgot. Crepe. The silhouette of a sweet, delicious sugar candy suddenly appeared in her head, but she shook her head and shook off the desire. I have no time to be eating that stuff. I have to go train. I can't fall behind Sora any longer. Miss Igawa, how about... I'll have to decline. I have something else up. Sakia said, refusing her schoolmate's offer. Okay, so if she's in middle school, I think the ages are about the same as they would be in America. So that means she would be... What, middle school is 3 years, I think? So... She's like 11, 12, or 13. I mean, that explains her height. Sakia said, refusing her schoolmate's offer. There's no way she'll hang out after class, no matter what anyone says. She's in Igawa. Although a relative, her training must be grueling as an Igawa clan member. Her grades are great too. Probably. She has a promising future for sure after she graduates. With a fixed future, she wouldn't have time to hang out now, would she? Maybe. Humph. Sakia, who could hear it all, didn't even argue with him. She knew since childhood that as long as she bore the name Igawa, others looked up to her or placed their expectations on her. It's just... futures aren't set in stone. I have no choice but to cling on desperately. Some time ago, Kanazuki Sora, Sakia's classmate, who had far less combat experience than herself, had awakened as a Taimanin. As for Sakia herself, nervous that she'd be overtaken by Sora's growth, she injected herself with demon blood. The blood of demons, whose effect in enhancing Taimanin's physical abilities and the power of ninja art were discovered by Momochi Toyo and his faction. Oh. The very substance also distributed on the black market as an ingredient for dangerous drugs was something Sakia injected into herself. The blood of demons carried the possibility of turning her into something other than a human. And as a result of its influence, Sakia awakened the power of shade art. With that, finally she would have become like Kanazuki Sora. But at this point she felt like relying on such a drug to awaken her power was like cheating, casting a dark shadow on her heart. To shake off that shadow, Sakia intensified her training, and as a result her skills were increasing. In fact, the only person who could rival her now was Sora. Everyone else in her grade was no match for her. Even then, Sora's still ahead of me, outpacing me. And she's growing faster, much more amazingly, getting stronger without changing, yet her skills continue to rise. Thinking this way, Sakia went out for her training to catch up to Sora, to surpass her. Did you say something? As she walked past the school gate, she brushed by a senior. She didn't know their name or face, but they were wearing a high school uniform. This mission is limited to the middle school students. I thought it was my chance to show off. Mission limited to middle school students? Sakia inadvertently reacted to the voice, and the senior turned to look at her. Ah, you're from the middle school. The senior must have assumed by looking at her uniform, as they said when they saw Sakia. One thing that kind of bugs me about this is because it says that she's in her uniform, but here you can clearly see she's in her Taimanin outfit, her Taimanin suit, which is not a uniform. I just heard a rumor. It seems like the mission related to the UFS came in and is limited to middle school students. I love Taimanin, and it kind of makes sense that Taimanin, like, because Taimanin characters are like super freakishly strong, even like the weaker characters canonically. Why are they sending middle school students on escort missions? Is there such a mission? Sora, what are you doing here? Well, it's just that I thought it was interesting to see Sakia-chan talking to someone other than the task force members. Sakia felt a little flustered as she noticed Sora's face, but frowned for another reason after hearing the reason. Sora noticing Sakia's attitude and how the distance between them seemed to have grown, slightly stiffened her expression. Sakia had been avoiding Sora. But even so, she spoke to her because to Sora, Sakia was a precious, truly precious friend. I also talked to people other than Fuma. It seemed that Sakia didn't want to see Sora's face, who was much more talented, a true genius compared to herself. So to continue their conversation, are you interested too? Apparently, they're recruiting people to participate in a VIP protection mission. But they want to send middle school students who aren't famous for as protectors. Why do you think that is? Sora and Sasuke are basically like Naruto and Sasuke. I'm trying to remember what, because I know Naruto and Sasuke, the conflict between them was essentially like raw talent versus effort. And I can see like the parallels, but Sasuke is falling behind, whereas not. Where in Naruto, it was Sasuke who fell behind because Naruto was just putting in that much extra effort. The high school Taimanins, who didn't know the circumstances of the two, continued the conversation. Sasuke and Sora answered, pretending not to be conscious of each other. Huh? Well, because famous seniors are too busy with other missions? If someone famous takes on the escort mission, enemies could easily come up with countermeasures, right? Yeah, I also agree with the opinion that Silverhair. If they're too famous, enemies could easily investigate their skills or tactics. Or maybe it's just an easy task and they want to give the middle school students some field experience. Oh, I see. I guess you could think of it that way. And I guess that's true. If it's an easy mission, like protecting a VIP, maybe. Since I still haven't experienced real combat, I'm not well known, so I was wondering if I'd be able to participate in the test. But I got kicked out by Headmistress Asagi. The examiner for the test is Headmistress Asagi? I think so. Well, Miss Rin was also there, and if you're thinking of taking it, just so you know, the test requires a team of 2. Sora did Trainer Taimanin are under Kaito Sakuya. Just under Kaito, Sakuya just didn't bother knowing. Kaito. Isn't Kaito the that's the blue hair one, right? She was recently added to Taimanin RPGX, I think. She's like the archer. And I think her bond art is like her playing with dogs, the cute one. Shadow art user, kind of like Sok. Yeah. She has like the blue suit, right? Yeah. She's the one with the welfare units, I think. Well, since you two meet the requirements, why not give it a shot together? If only I were a little younger. Wait, is Kaito a welfare unit? I thought she... I think she is a welfare unit. With that, the senior student sighed wistfully and trudged back to the classroom. A 2-person test limited to middle school students. A test where Headmistress Asagi is overseeing the selection process. I wonder how my current skills would look in her eyes. Sakuya had stood before Asagi a few times before. But as a student, as a Taimanin, she could barely recall any instance where Asagi had spoken to her directly. More than anything, she wondered, what level did her skills seem to be in Asagi's eyes now? If it's limited to middle schoolers, then everyone is around my age. With where I am right now, I have a good chance of catching Headmistress Asagi's attention. What would she hear from her then? She didn't know, but Sakuya just hoped that she had the skills worthy of the name Igawa. And the thought of getting judged by the almighty Taimanin made her heart race. If it's okay with you, would you... I'm heading out, I need to find a partner. Seriously, why is this happening? Well, let's do our best in today's test, okay? Wait, don't tell me you had something to do with this. I didn't do anything. Did you? Sora felt like she was digging her own grave with each word she said and closed her mouth, avoiding eye contact. The day after hearing about the test, Sakuya had gone around asking her classmates to form a team with her. But every time, she was turned down with excuses like, I'm busy after school, I don't want to take on dangerous missions yet, or even, I'm scared of the headmistress, so no thanks. And honestly, it was understandable. They were still students, and at their age, it wasn't uncommon to fail even in training, let alone real battles. And then, there was Sora. Sakuya had skills on par with the high school students, and to her classmates, she was in an entirely different league. Sora had always been friendly with Sakuya, but over the past few months, their relationship had started to drift. Sora, not hiding her desire to mend things, kept trying to talk to Sakuya, but Sakuya, always citing training or classes, kept her distance. Seeing this, their classmates had started rejecting the idea of teaming up with Sakuya as a way of silently supporting Sora. Besides, Sora was the only one who could follow Sakuya's pace in middle school. Looking around, there were about 10 teams, 2-person middle school students. They were training by using the simulation room. It seems like the test is taken in teams of 2. Let's do this, Sora. Let's do this, Sakuya-chan. Why is she so happy? It makes me feel like I'm a very selfish person. Sakuya felt a little disgusted in herself. Anyways, we're going to use this facility too. We didn't fight alongside each other after that training, so we better get back into shape. Right. Still feeling a little awkward, Sakuya then operated the machine in the simulation room to start training. However, as expected, the 2 possessed extraordinary skills and abilities for middle school students. They were training in a level higher than Sakuya's normal self-training. Sora, aren't you letting your guard down too much? I'm sorry? Sora couldn't follow her harsh training and was getting hit more often than Sakuya had thought. The data indicated that Sora had been hit twice as much as Sakuya. What happened, considering your skill? I'm missing an L here. That's another typo. Come on, Greymori, hit me up. Greymori, Lilith, I don't care which one. Hit me up, I'll proofread your scripts. I thought you would be able to do this. It's too much? I mean, I am going to do my best, but it might be tough unless I get used to it. Sora quickly corrects herself, fearing that Sakuya would be disillusioned if she said she was going to be tough, but those words made Sakuya suddenly realize something. I see. Sora is the same age as me. She just awakened her ninja arts first. She's just an ordinary Taimanin, but I got nervous then. As she let out a sigh of relief at her current skill level, and that in fact, another sigh followed. One of frustration at her own pathetic sense of relief. What am I relieved about? What a fool. Sorry, with this test and, well, a lot of things going on, I guess I got a little anxious. No, I'm sorry. I'll do my best so that I don't get in your way. No, let's help you get back to your feel for combat. I'll lower the level a bit. After a few more low-level training, Sora quickly got accustomed to the attack patterns of the machine, and her hit rate dropped to less than half, eventually to a single digit. Her final score didn't reach Sakuya, who was in first place, but nonetheless, compared to her initial failures, her skill had increased almost like a miracle. Way to go, Sakuya-chan. I couldn't catch up to your score until the end. Why are you sulking? No, I'm not. But she got used to it in such a short span of time. Sora is truly remarkable. Her ninja art is much sharper than before. Maybe the quality of my ninja art is far inferior to hers because I cheated with drugs. The difference in ninja art and talent. Should she be happy that she is compensating for it with technique, or should she worry and think that of progress so far as cheating? Sakuya's thoughts didn't clear up yet, but it wasn't that important. Regarding talents with ninja arts, it's related to DNA. The moment you're born is the moment your ability is chosen. Even if the path to awakening varies, the result never changes. If Asagi was here watching Sakuya, she would have smiled bitterly and said, "You care too much." I may not be able to achieve this in terms of talent, but I'm not losing in terms of skill. My efforts are not in vain. The answer to that was for Sakuya to find herself. She would continue thinking and struggle with the subject, but because of that, her future would bloom magnificently into a beautiful flower. Our teamwork seemed to have returned. Now let's focus on getting your real battle senses back. It hurts when I get injured in a real battle, so let's be careful, Sakuya-chan. Ahem. Well, that's obvious, so you don't have to tell me about it. Sakuya laughed at Sora's words, but soon scolded her. They moved on to the mountain in the back, the perfect place to regain their sense of real combat. As they went deeper into the woods, they sensed dummy automatons and ninja beasts approaching them. Let's work on our combination skills more to pass the test, Sora. Bleh. Why did I replace it? Let's work on our combination skills more to pass the test, Sora. Okay. I don't like her neutral stance. I feel like, yeah, I don't like it. This neutral stance looks kind of weird, especially for like how graceful she is. Yeah, I think. Oh, that's cool. That's a cool attack. Yeah, the Hadouken. The EX Hadouken. You know, if we're up to me, hang on, let me see if I can do this. I'll pop my private room. Let's see, how do I clear this? Just that. Purchase all. So if we're up to me, I would have made her. Hang on, let me see. Take this away. Take this away. I don't want. I don't want this. Okay, there we go. Okay. Can I? Oh, what? Okay. So, no, I don't want to grab that. I want to grab this. No. No, I don't want to. Let's see. So, gotta bend the knees a bit, and then. All right. You know, maybe I could like stream Koikatsu. No, I don't want that. So let's see. Does this rotate her entire body? No, it just rotates her upper body. So I think, is it this that rotates her entire body? Yeah, this rotates her entire body. So let's see, can I hit that shoulder joint? There we go. Let's see. I am going like super hard into like this, what pose I would put her in for like her neutral. Click on her ass so I can change that. Not like this. So okay. You can use the diagram. Oh yeah, that's move character. That's what I want to do. Thanks for the tips, Ido. Okay, so move. So let's see. Oh, that's much easier. Thank you for the tip. Okay, so and then this, let's see, red, yeah. Right shoulder. Elbow. Okay, so this one. Shoulder. Elbow. Let's see. I think I would do something like this for like her neutral stance. I feel like this would be better. Yeah. Like something like this would be better for her neutral stance. I don't really like her, like, the official neutral stance. I feel like something like this would be better for a neutral stance. This one feels like a little more dynamic, and then you would, like, from the back view, see, like this. She looked a little more battle ready, in my opinion. I mean, what do I know? She cut herself that way. Her main blade, basically thunder blades. Not really. Because her weapons are blades that come out of her gauntlets, like kataras or patas. I think they're called patas. Pata. Weapon. Yeah, they're called patas. So, like Zamasu. Actually, I'm not super familiar with Dragon Ball, but I guess. But with the pose that I suggested, it gives her more of like a brawler look. I guess like the oh, hang on. Let me try this again. So let's see. So let's see. Right hand. Okay, so body. No, that's not what I wanted. No, that's not what I wanted. I needed the Z axis. You could have her like in a... Oh, yeah, so see, like... So you can see, like, the palms. So the palms are where they come out. So the pose that I suggested would still have, like, the power, or, like, she has a... What, like, the palms are, like, her projectiles, and then the wrist, so... Like, the wrist here is where the blades come out. So all you would have to do is adjust how... All she would need to do is adjust her hands. So when she needs to do projectiles, she does this. And when she needs to do blades, she just kind of, like, tilts her wrist down. So the pose I suggested isn't that bad. Like, for the purposes that I want. It'd be a more dynamic pose, in my opinion. And, I don't know. I just think it'd be better. I don't like how she kind of has it. It does... I mean, it worked, but I guess maybe it'd be too close to Sujinlei's neutral stance. At the test site, there were 20 students, 10 teams of 2 gathered. Now I'll announce the details of today's test. First, you will simply have to escort someone. Remaining inconspicuous while keeping a watchful eye on the target's surroundings, you will have to respond to unexpected situations, various troubles. In this test, support and infiltration will be tested, alongside combat abilities, which is why especially Headmistress Igawa Asagi has been invited to attend as an examiner. This is your chance to show your skills to the almighty Taimanin, so everyone please do your best. After Rin's announcement, everyone looked toward Igawa Asagi, who was far away. The Almighty Taimanin is the title she carries, and her abilities are so overwhelming that there is no one to match her. I know everyone is prepared for today, so please show us everything. With that, Rin raised her hand lightly. The simulation's room background changed and instantly became a hotel. Now, the headmistress will give us a speech. No, there's nothing more for me to say. Asagi said nothing because she wanted to prove she was just here as an examiner. But the students were with the almighty Taimanin. The middle school students were excited just by that fact, and they were teeming with passion more than ever. It is the same for Igawa Sakia. I should do my best as a member of the Igawa clan and honor the name Igawa. That was her reason for existence, and an absolute condition as an Igawa. Her expression and breathing were no different from usual. But with the tension and excitement that were a bit excessive, Sakuya, thrilled, felt her heart rate rise slightly. I'm starting to get nervous. That's right. However, her partner, Kanazuki Sora, was much more tense than Sakuya. Sora, who had transferred from elsewhere, had much less experience in these with these Taimanin tests than anyone else present here. However, the fact that she had already experienced real combat makes it, in a way, a strange story. With Sora's current abilities, the test would be a breeze for her. Although she thinks that way, there have been many cases throughout history where people failed because they were too arrogant. It wasn't guaranteed that Sora would pass the test. Yeah, nothing's absolute. Besides, if not for her, the test is also for me to take. It's okay. If we go by our training, we'll be the strongest team. Right. I'm used to these tests, so if you get confused or don't know what to do, just trust me. Got it. That calmed Sora a bit, and she replied in a softer voice. That was nothing like my usual self. It was something that the old Sakuya might have said, but it seemed like her current self had no such awareness. Every time I team up with Sora, I feel odd if I don't focus. After a while, the test began. The first test tested combat skill, and it seemed like each team had to fight against enemies in a simulated hotel room. A few teams later, it was Sakuya's and Sora's turn. Let's remember our training. Follow my lead. Sakuya, just trust me, bro. Okay. Yeah, basically. Igawa Sakuya was watching, but Sakuya didn't care about that right now. I guess the reason they didn't go with the stance that I suggested is because it'd be too similar to Sue's neutral stance. Let me finish this and I'll show you what I mean. This is probably the most complex character that they made so far. After the battle, they were shown to another room by Rin. They weren't waiting for the test results, but the next test had already begun. Ooh, cute uniform. It's a copy of Wolverine stance. That's kinda right. Cause Wolverine's a little more hunched over, and his arms are bent a little more. But I see where you're like pointing out. It's so fluttery. I'm not used to these clothes. But we never know where we'll infiltrate during the mission, so you might want to drop that thought, Sakuya-chan. Sora's giving me serious advice. But why not? The two people had their clothes changed when they left the changing room. They were wearing a uniform from the hotel restaurant, a waitress outfit. Oh yeah, it's that Sora right there, that's cute. This time we'll evaluate how much you can cope with people while being a waitress. And draw out information from a stranger. Yes, Headmistress Asagi, I mean, Examiner. Okay, so hang on. Wolverine MVC3. Sora, hang on. It's openpaint.net. This is such a small picture. Hang on, let me see if I can find a bigger one. I guess that's how to do. Expand canvas. Crop the selection. Let's resize it to twice as big. So, 1800. So, let's see. So you can see Wolverine's stance. He's slightly more hunched over, and his legs are spread further apart, and his knees are bent a little more, and so are his arms. So but I see where you're going at. Sora shut her mouth after sharing the minimum conversation with her and understood her position as an examiner. Meanwhile, Sakuya, I'll show them my best here, was motivated more than ever. Sora's condition was a roller coaster, and she was equal to Sakuya when it came to combat skills and sometimes did better than Sakuya in certain situations. But in one-on-one situations, she had less experience as a Taimanin and lacked training. When you pass the test, you'll be infiltrating the hotel in various ways. This is one of those examples, infiltrating a restaurant as a waitress and seeing how you cope with this situation. Her strict tone of voice emphasized the roles of the examiner and the examinee. After that, dozens of restaurant customers appeared in the simulation room. Let's do our best, Sora. Okay. Sakuya said so and started showing customers to their seats inside. Sora brought water and took orders from the customers who were already seated. A moment later, they were called to the kitchen to serve food to the customers, but it wasn't hard for the trained duo. A couple of minutes passed, then a dozen more, but they were patient. This was a test, but if it was a real restaurant, they would have done the same chores repeatedly. They thought of this as a test of patience because it would take time to notice a stranger doing something off. After 20 minutes had passed, they continued acting as a waitress. It was around that time when something changed. We seem to have gone over to the next phase. Finally. Don't let it show on your face or in your voice. It might affect your scores negatively. It must have been a burden for Sora for her to work as a waitress. Knowing that this is a test and being aware of her surroundings, I think this "for her" here should be removed. Sakuya was helping Sora with her work and lessening her burden. The next customer seemed like a normal person. His outfit and atmosphere was alright, but the way he walked, acted, and looked around the restaurant looking for something the moment he entered. Suspicious. Ayashi. Gosha's simulations are remarkable. I can't believe that they can replicate such detailed changes. Sora's small talk loosened their tension, but in a good way. Sakuya and Sora kept an eye on the suspicious man while continuing to act as a waitress. They could predict that he was looking for someone related to the UFS congressman by following his site. Is he looking for us? Or maybe he's just looking for a way to poison his food. Is that it? Yeah. If it was an assassination attempt, then it'd be much easier to use a tool instead of doing it personally. An escort wouldn't really go to a restaurant, but any human would still need to eat. If he would ask the restaurant to deliver his food, then someone might poison it on the way. Or maybe he's trying to find out where the congressman is staying. Maybe he was searching the restaurant to find out the target's room. Oh, welcome. Another customer entered the restaurant while Sakuya was keeping an eye on the man. Sora tried to tend to the customer, but she was somewhat unnatural. It's important not to care about the humiliation or lack of experience when it comes to infiltration missions. What matters is how much you immerse yourself into your role. Sora still felt somewhat embarrassed, and that made her unnatural as a waitress. Excuse me, sir, how many in your group? I'll show you to your seat, and you, bring me some water. Right away. Every time Sora was acting unnaturally, Sakuya would cover for her. Sora has a timid personality, making it easy for assertive people to take control, which in turn slows down her movements. She's already experienced real combat, yet she's still weak under pressure. Sakuya thought as she moved toward the seat where the suspicious man was sitting, she slightly touched under the table. Oh, crap, I clicked too fast. Once she showed him the seat, and once the other side after she checked... Once she showed him the seat, and once on the other side after she checked on another customer. The table was wiretapped, so she was checking it. The reason she didn't remove the bug was because it would prove to the opponent that it had caught up to him. Checking it was enough for now. Oi, get me another beer, and this food isn't what I ordered. Alright, and this food isn't what I ordered. Oh, sorry, I'll get it right away. Well, I can use her mistakes to distract him from me. I hope our scores don't get deducted too much. Sakuya wanted to maintain the score by using Sora's mistakes to their benefit as much as possible. So, what I was getting at is, where's Sue? Yeah, so see how what I was basically thinking was instead of left hand forward for Sue, it would be right hand forward for clone Yukikaze. So it'd be a stance like this, but a little more like hunched over. And you can't even like say that like the blade thing would be a problem because Sue has like arm blades too. See? So they could have done something like this. And then let's see. Retreat. Like another character. What's Mari's neutral stance? Let me check Mari's neutral stance real quick. So Shinohara Mari, she's right here. Yeah, so she's right hand forward, but she's like a brawler, so. So I guess the reason they didn't do it is because it'd be too close to Mari, but Mari like has this bouncer step, as you can see, so that would make it different. I think Clone Yukikaze could be like the right hand forward, but the more controlled character. So she would have like her idle stance would be just like her breathing, like that'd be like the most movement from it. As they were spying on the man, the mobile device in their uniform vibrated. This vibration pattern. Can you find out where the escort is? She thought they made a mistake, but soon came back to thinking that this is how the test goes. She tapped Zoro, who was confused, on her shoulder and moved to the backyard. Did I mess up again? Not really, but you did show yourself in the restaurant, but the test is still going on. I'm guessing this is the next phase. Saki decided to go to the room where the escort was staying. According to the mission, Uehara-rin would be around the congressman, but the situation setting would be that something unexpected happened while they weren't there. Okay, hang on. My throat's dry. Oh, much better. Whew, okay. According to the mission, Uehara-rin would be around the congressman, but the situation setting would be that something unexpected happened while they weren't there. We can't expect Miss Rin to support us in a test, much less than a real mission. We might have to go against the enemy on our own. I know, this is a test, so they caught us for that. She's fast at recognizing the situation now. She's calm in battle, but why is she so weak towards people with strong personalities? She knew it was just her personality, but it was surprising still. Sakia then hurried to the floor where the escort was. Armed terrorists were already positioned along the corridor, and some were even cyborgs with drones. Should we call for backup? No, we can handle this. It's okay, none of them are stronger than us. Saki figured out the enemy's strength in a second and ran out instantly. Following her actions, Sora destroyed a drone with a crossbow. Information can be salvaged from drones even when they are destroyed, but terrorists and cyborg ninjas had to be kept alive for interrogation. I'll back you up. Got it. With minimal talking, they shared a single goal of neutralizing the terrorists and destroy all drones and commence the attack. I do like her normal combo animation. It's also cool how like Mjolnir Impact has like so much recoil it pushes her back. Can I? Damn. I want to do the ult. There we go. Interesting. Using the ranged one. I guess I could try that one out. Hiya! Saki destroyed the Cyborg Ninja's mechanic limbs with finesse. With that, the Cyborg Ninja lost every means to resist and completely neutralized. Whoa, that was fast. It was an easy target, and funny you should say that, since when you've become so great. That's tight. Bad grammar there. While program gens are easy to cope with once you get used to them, it would have been harder if they were controlled by a human. She said it as if it was nothing, but the drone adopted a program Gosha had developed to simulate an actual battle, though it was for training. It surely toned down since it was for middle schoolers' test, but Sora's shooting was way better than Saki had imagined. Even in training, if it's close to real combat, she can demonstrate this level of focus. During the pre-test training, she wasn't able to land hits as precisely as she is now, perhaps because, in Sora's mind, it's still just training. Just as usual, you're unpredictable. Ugh. Sora can talk back, but if you think about it, her skills are hard to comprehend. Unpredictable. Should I compliment her or be worried about her? I can't figure out what to do with her. Her weapon Heaven's Road procs with type shooter, so it makes her normal attacks a life skill. Ooh. I didn't get Heaven's Road, unfortunately. I'm doing this event so I can get gacha coins, so I can try rolling again for free. Quote unquote free. As Saki's side again, Sora took a step to the next test with her shoulders dropped. Okay. So lightning summon. I didn't really use this, mess around with this one. Type shooter. Recommend doing exchange facility. You have a 50-50 chance there. Yeah, I can try that if I really want. If I'm really like aching for it. Wait, I do need to check something. Okay, so she's not in the rotation yet, unfortunately. I mean, I guess she's not going to be playing the rotation for a while. I guess that makes sense. Let's see, did I equip it? I did, type shooter. We dug up very interesting talents this time, again. Yes, some who have been mediocre during class got a fair amount of points on the tests. I'm not sure whether they have been hiding their talents, or just the test suited them, or it was pure luck. It makes me happy if it is part of a process of them improving, but what worries me is if it's just luck. As an educator, that really gives you a headache. Igawa Asagi and Urahara Rin were continuing their casual conversation while reviewing the results of the test so far. For a teacher, a student's growth is just a joyous thing, but whether it is genuine skill or just good luck, that must be judged comprehensively. Among them all, the most attention-grabbing are, as expected, the two who have already experienced actual combat, unlike the other middle school Taimanins. Kanazuki Sora and Igawasagi. I guess they're... The Igawasakia. I said Igawasagi on reflex. I guess they're the most promising ones. I'm still not sure about Kanazuki. For me, it's Sakia. Oh really? She nearly got a perfect score. But she's doing too much. If she's like this in the test, she might become obsessed with making achievements in actual combat. It's a common mistake among young Taimanins to put themselves in danger to make themselves look good, to grab a chance they can't really get. And that's Sakia, who is overly concerned with the name Igawa. There's no guarantee that such reckless behavior, which could be seen as an outburst, won't occur. Then, why don't we find out in the next test? Good idea, and that's what the next test is for. Alright, the rest of you will take the final test. When Rin declared this, only 5 teams, 10 Taimanins were left in the simulation room. Sakia and Sora were among them. It's just half of us now. Yeah, but the real test has started. I will pass the test, of course. The final test will be a survival test. Each of you will be scattered and start... What was that? I heard something fall down. I don't think it was a big deal. Doesn't seem like it was a big deal. Okay. Nope. The final test will be a survival test. Each of you will be scattered and start the test at your respective location. Find and join your teammate or act on your own and take down the others. It's all up to you. There's only one rule here. No matter how many enemies you take down, you'll fail the test if your teammate is eliminated. Protect your teammate until the last minute and take down more enemies than the others. It's a team of 2. Fight until you're the last one standing. Thank you for the raid, Phoenix. As soon as Rin ended her words, Sakia felt someone's presence behind her. This memo has your starting location. Move out. Ugh. When did she... Sakia didn't notice or hear her coming. She didn't even feel a change in the flow of air. That's how you know Asagi is a good ninja. She can sneak up on someone while wearing high heels. Sakia didn't notice or hear her coming. She didn't even feel a change in the flow of air. With just that one sentence, Sakia, who was deeply aware of the difference in skill compared to the almighty Taimanin, was shocked. Meanwhile, Asagi handed out papers with starting points written on them to Sora and the other students. I may never be as great as her, but as a Taimanin of the Igawa clan, I want to be as great as her. I want to be. Determined, Sakia moved to the location on its paper. The test begins in 10 minutes. Immediately after Rin shouted, the scenery changed. The simulation that had nothing in it became an antique garden of a mansion. Now let's get started. First, I need to find Sora and join her. This is a big... Sorry, I skipped that second part. This is a really big simulation room. That's actually really cool. Okay, so I like the first, second, and fourth, but I don't like the third one. The third one, like, shooting low like that? Yeah, I don't really like that animation. Taimanin Earth. Looks like the thing. That's a nice outfit, but I think this piercing is a little too high, like on the model. I think they probably need to fix that. Cause like, hang on. Yeah, so see her, like her navel would be right here, like the belly button. The piercing should be down here, I think. Let's see. I think they had to have positioned it all white properly, because white, it's like part of her character. Yes, they positioned it better here on white. Wait, what about the artwork for the... it's kind of hard to see there. Hang on, let's see if I can... Production, costume... Clone Yukikaze. Oh, you can't really see it here. It's this small art. Can I? Yeah, you can see it a little bit better here. Yeah, it looks like it's a little too high because their belly button would be down here, I'm pretty sure. Either that or she's just got a really long belly button. Alright, let's finish this event. Let's knock it out. Sakia. Don't panic, there's two of us. She's on her own. Even Sakia can't get out of this. Separated from Sora, Sakia was running down a corridor to join her. It was not Sora again. Where the heck is she? Sakia had already eliminated a team, so this one will be her second. Knowing they hadn't joined yet, the first team arrogantly thought they could defeat just one person, charge in, and only be turned around and defeated. However, unlike them, these two attacked Sakia while keeping a wary eye on Sakia. They could just put her here. They are slow, their attacks are clumsy. However, they were still no match for Sakia. The two Taimanins attacked her as a team, but Sakia could read all their attacks and even their next moves. She evaded their charge, avoided the attacks, and smoothly went between them to hit. She wasn't thinking of taking them down at once. She attacked them in a relaxed, safe way while minimizing the use of her stamina. If they are to attack me as a team, one should go in front and the other should attack me from afar. That'll allow them to check on me while still attacking me. After exchanging fists several times, Sakia completely analyzed her opponent, and this time she closed in to finish them. The movement, which had been passive counterattacks adjusting to the opponent until now, suddenly shifted to Sakia's preemptive strikes. The rival Taimanins were slow to react to the movement, and the damage accumulated from the attack so far quickly led to them fainting. I hope Sora's okay, although I doubt she'll be defeated even in a 2-on-1 situation. Only Sora uses a ranged weapon and mainly attacks enemies from a distance. She might not get the upper hand in close combat. Sakia slightly frowned upon reminding herself of the two people who looked exceptionally strong among the teams left in the final test. I need to find Sora, fast. Murmuring, Sakia continued to run inside the mansion the simulator made. They're all coming at me in close range battles. Of course, cornering an enemy into a disadvantaged situation, that's the basis of combat. True. Oh, you haven't joined your teammate yet? Poor thing, but that doesn't mean I will go easy on you. Ugh, get away from me. While she was forced to fight at a close range, she knocked an arrow and aimed. One of the opponents made distance as soon as she shot the arrow, but in the meantime, the other immediately attacked her. One keeps attacking while the other stays far away, and in that gap, the one who was distant returns. It's a vicious cycle. Individually, they were not stronger than Sora. Sora could easily deal with them one-on-one, possibly defeat them, but unfortunately for Sora, they were a pair. Besides, they kept fighting at close range, which is Sora's weak point. This put Sora in a very stressful situation, resulting in slowing down her movements. If I lose here, my team will be disqualified. That's not going to happen. She finally got a chance to fight alongside Sakuya. If that ends, or worse, if she drags Sakuya behind, that's the end of their friendship forever. It's alright, I can do this. I just need to hold a little longer till Sakuya-chan comes. Sora gave up on counterattack and focused solely on dodging. With all her mind and focus, she kept dodging. I can't hit her. Calm down, if you can't hit her, then corner her until she can't dodge anymore. As Sora changed her strategy, the rival Taimanins also changed theirs. That improvisation was exceptional even among other Taimanins left in the test. Perhaps they were as good as Sakuya and Sora. It's alright, I can do this. Despite this, Sora's concentration never wavered. She uses the floors, the walls, trees, and ornaments of the simulated garden as footholds or as a shield to avoid their attacks. However, her opponents kept focusing only on attacking her since she didn't fight back. One attack becomes more precise than before. They started to corner Sora, and finally Sora's back hit a wall. She couldn't evade anymore. Her consciousness, which had been focusing only on evading, got distracted. Gotcha, it's our win. Her rivals didn't miss a chance. They threw the last blow at her. A dull training ninja sword was right in front of her eyes. To Sora, it felt surprisingly slow, letting her dodge the attack with a thin line, but another sword came right after. Immediately after that, a spark was made in front of her eyes with a sharp sound. With a short breath, a shuriken was thrown, deflecting the sword, and the attack landed on the wall behind Sora, losing its original path. Without sparing a moment to see where the shuriken came from, Sora kicked away one of the rival Taimanin and rolled on the ground to get away from the corner position. Sorry, I'm late. Not at all, you're right on time. Upon Sakuya's appearance, Sora sighed in relief and her face became bright. Nice moves, you didn't give up until the very end. You mean that? I'm glad to hear your compliment, Sakuya-chan. As they conversed, Sakuya stepped forward. Behind her, Sora knocked an arrow onto her crossbow. They reunited. I wanted to take her down before that. It doesn't change anything, but the numbers 1-on-2 situation became 2-on-2, equal. From now on, only our skills will determine who's going to win. They're right. You got this, right, Sora? Yep. I suppose they're as strong as us, but Sora couldn't cope with them alone. We'll be alright. We can do this, Sora. Yep. Sora replied with all her heart to Sakuya's cheering words, which was unusual of her. Blam. Single shot, just one shot the boss with a normal attack. Easy peasy. Phew. Oh, this is it? As soon as the battle ended, the mansion data projected by the simulator disappeared and the simulation became a white blank space as it used to be. Yes, Sakuya defeated two teams before joining Sora, and those guys defeated a team before they encountered you, which makes the combat you had just before the last one. Ah, Miss Rin, right, you've been watching all along. I didn't notice she was watching at all. Focusing only on what's right before your eyes can be a talent, but you need to be aware of the situation at all the time. 1 point is deducted from your score. Oof. What? No. After surviving the final test and passing, despite the scores no longer having any meaning, the two of them were deeply disappointed. Seeing this, Rin thought, they're still just kids, smiled faintly, making sure the two didn't notice. However, your total score from all the tests so far and your skills... the scores don't matter. She's just like, yeah, you lost a point. However, your total scores from all the tests so far and your skills that helped you survive until the very end are almost perfect. What do you think, Headmistress Asagi? I agree with you. Your ability to cope with missions and your combat skills are beyond middle schoolers. What especially caught my eye was Saki's resourcefulness in dealing with sudden situations you encountered while acting alone. Her skills that defeated 2 teams single-handedly should be highly praised. And Sora was resilient enough not to give up until the end when cornered. They've grown so much, both of you. I can't wait to see what you'll become. If my school your school professor did that to you, you're gonna crash out. Understandable. Have a nice day. Sakuya-chan, you look happy for some reason. Sakuya sounded so excited that even Sora felt so. Both of you, you're great today. Everyone else, although you didn't pass today, I'm sure you'll pass the next test. Alright, I officially announced that the test is finished. Everyone dismissed. The 2 of you who passed, come see me in a separate room, and you may be briefed on mission. Ever since that test, they have trained hard for missions and went on missions as supporters for Uehara Rin. Sakuya and Sora were supporting Rin and the target, disguised as waitresses of a hotel to hide that there were no other Taimanin than Rin for the escort. No one would care about unknown Taimanins who just finished training in the UFS because of their presence of the famous Taimanin, Uehara Rin, and the intruders only focused on hindering her. With that, Sakuya and Sora could easily do their missions, such as secretly disengaging, destroying the intruders' traps, or even attacking them, while still making it look as if they were all done by Uehara Rin. It's a very clumsy operation, but even so, it showed some effect, and Sakuya and Sora's presence has not yet been discovered. This is Sora speaking. All clear here. Same here, I don't see anyone suspicious. The 2 who dressed up as waitresses contacted Rin when the time came. The 2 had been looking for any suspicious individuals while walking around the hall of the hotel dressed up as waitresses. But that wasn't exactly the purpose of the mission. Although they were Taimanin, any skilled individual would notice them as they were still amateurs. However, they are still looking for the intruders, no matter how many times they are told not to. Probably because they are not used to doing missions yet. Rin smiled bitterly over the intercom, so slight that no one would notice it. Today's our last day, isn't it? Yes, he will be handed over to Taimanin's dispatch to the UFS tomorrow. We will resume our guard duty only if he visits Japan afterwards. I think we can successfully accomplish this mission. I'm a little exhausted. Hey, the mission isn't over yet. But I feel like Nomad gave up thinking that they can stand a chance against you. The intruders were Nomad, and Uehara Rin, one of the most powerful Taimanin, was in charge of the escort. Sakuya thought the enemies might have realized the difference in power through failed attacks. Maybe. Anyways, keep your guard up. Sakuya's tension eased because the operation had been continuously successful up until now. Because of her inexperience, small success made her misunderstand that things will always be okay. In that sense, this mission was perfect for Sakuya and Sora. It is a duty for a senior to have juniors experience failures. As Rin disconnected the comms withholding what she wanted to say, Sakuya and Sora went back to their work. They are relaxed, but that doesn't mean they are not serious about the mission. At that moment, the music playing in the hall stopped and all the lights went out. Sakuya instinctively felt that it wasn't from a mechanical malfunction, but from someone's evil practice. At the same time, she got nervous that someone she thought her hurt has been excited over accomplishing the mission. Miss Rin? Sora's tense voice came over the Sakuya's intercom as well. Relax, I'll release my power for a moment. Find it and gather around. Understand? In 3, 2... Ha 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 ha! Oh boy. Is that she the cause of this mess? Spotlights gathered at the center of the hall, and there was a little girl who hadn't been there. From her looks, Sakuya knows that she was a demon. She found the pro-nomad congressman using her colleagues she infiltrated in the hall. They finally dragged him to her. Rin didn't resist, worrying that she might hurt the UFS congressman if she abruptly fought back. Oh, it was you? Well, it doesn't matter. Guys, kill them all. What is going on? Everybody calm down. Taking her shout as a signal, armed mercenaries broke through the windows. They were a mix of human and demon, skillfully concealing their affiliations, making it difficult to determine their true identity. Simply judging from the fact that they didn't kill the UFS congressman right away after dragging him out, it was clear that his very existence held some kind of significance. Sora, Sakuya, change plans. But she doesn't have time to waste for that. Alright, hopefully my Yukikaze is ready for normal mode. Oh yeah, no worries here. Mjolnir Impact is really like short range for like a ranged attack. Ow. Nice. I'm surprised that she doesn't have like a second combo skill for melee focus. Dodge after attack skill? No, I mean like... So, hang on. I forgot who had it. I think it was, was it Langshan? No, it wasn't Langshan. That was someone else. White? Or was it Lena? I think it might have been Lena. So, where's it? Here she is. Yeah, so Lena has two different versions of the, of her combo skill. So this one. So she has like one that's like purely melee focus, and then she has one that's like melee and range combined. And then I think Nagi is like that too, isn't she? And then Nagi has... Yeah, so she has Sword Style and Mirage Strike. So Sword Style has like the ranged, like the blade beams. And then this one is like the Mirage, which is like the double attack, the Shadow Clone. Yeah, I think so. That sounds right. So for Ragnarok's case, it's Frostbite and Ice Wave. So yeah, Ice Wave is the ranged one. Yeah, this one's nice, and then this one's melee focus, where she has like the acrobatics. I like this one. And what's Ingrid's? I pass her? I did. My Ingrid's like 80, yeah, my Ingrid's 87. Demon Swordsmanship. Yeah, so this one has like the flame trail, and this one is the fireballs. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Yukikaze, like clone Yukikaze, doesn't have like a similar thing. Because I think she only has one combo, right? One combo skill? Yeah, only type shooter. I mean, I guess they were limited to skills that they could give her because, you know, they want to have like everyone have equal amount of skills options. Maybe because you can't feel both melee and range gauge at the same time. Yeah, but I mean, what they could have done is they could have done what with like Nagi, where one is the range combo skill and then the other is the melee combo skill. So it's not like a mixed combo skill. It's just like a enhancement of her normal combo. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but I think it would have been nicer. Let's try a different skill setup after I finish. Actually, once I get to hard mode, and I finish hard mode 5, I want to start experimenting with like different builds. I just hope my she's strong enough. I don't know how I feel about the dodge, like the extreme dodge skill. I mean, it's nice because you can just kind of like chill and heal. Yeah, Camel sucks. Yeah, it feels like really weak, even as far as like perfect dodge goes. Like I get standard for perfect dodge skills is really high, right? Like the bar is really high because you have healing field, healing wave. Like those healing skills are just way too good as perfect dodge skills. And then you have like Spatial Rift from Rinko, which has that control. It does provide invisibility. Like, really? What's the point then? Is that a bug? I feel like that's gotta be a bug. It's basically but you can interrupt it, which makes it so bad. When slot effects are applied, it reappears while using melee or range attack depending on the output level and it instantly recovers 10 ma. Okay. This part's not that bad. Recover 10% of max HP. That could be a big chunk of HP. But oh my god, that's so bad. Ugh, yeah. Enemies can still target you when you're invisible, yeah. Wait, so let me see what heavy code. Because I don't think I use heavy codes, but oh, maybe I do. Yeah, Octopus Shield. During extreme dodge, deploys an ink zone. No, I don't use so. Stealth increases speed. Oh, this is the counter dodge. Has double ink for 3 seconds when slot effects is applied. Okay. Yeah, I see double ink right here. %5 of lost HP restored per every half second. So it's got 6 ticks. It has 6 ticks over the course because it says 3 seconds here. That's not bad. That's actually really good. And not only that, it creates like a zone of like damage, so that's really strong too. Yeah, the extreme dodge skill for Yukikaze feels kind of garbo. I do like that skill though. Mjolnir Impact is a really cool skill. You know, I should probably read like Yukikaze's like passive skill. Or clone Yukikaze. Camel sucks, that's why you use Heaven's Road for better healing. For healing instead, works way better. Yeah, that's probably a lot better. Parrot sounds familiar. Collection, supporter. Hazuki Hikari. I don't recognize that name. Hazuki Hikari. These are all hentai anime that she's voiced in. I don't think that's her. I hope you're surprised though. Oh, it's fine. Let's get back into it. Ow. That Taimanin was doing like that sexy pose and I was just like, nah. Nah, bro, I'm just beating you down right now. Lightning Bolt Punisher. Melee attacks fills the super concentrated state gauge. Range attacks fills the super release state gauge. Different effects are guaranteed depending on the state. Super concentrated attack plus 40%, speed plus 10%, concentrated state attack plus 30, normal state no effect, release state critical damage. Huh. So range is for crit builds and it's concentrated for general. Interesting. Man, that's such a weird Bro, it's no bra. What the heck? That's a dangerous outfit, brother. It's almost as bad as the Christmas Inage Natsu one. So this is for a crit build. If you want to do a crit build, you want to run ranged. Ow. wonder how good like Clone Yukikaze would be in Arena Tower. I mean, I guess it depends on like her damage multipliers and stuff from her skills, but yeah, you generally want crit rate to take advantage of supercharge it. Yeah, that's what I figured. If you want to run the range, and I guess Heaven's Road is ideal for range. I need to look up that weapon. I need to see what it does. Alright, let's go with the classic costume. Even more classic. Let's go with this one. That actually might be good for ranged. Like this might legitimately be the first good rebellion weapon. Like I know the rebellion weapons are all kind of garbo, but this one might legitimately be good because her like passive is actually built around crit hits. So. I still do want Heaven's Road though. Lanxiang's rebellion weapon is really good. That's a good point. Lanxiang also is like a build around it, I think. Because I'm pretty sure all the rebellion weapons technically have the same skill. It's just that like some characters don't really capitalize it. Most characters don't really like capitalize off of it. So let's see Lanxiang real quick. Yeah, all the rebellion weapon critical rate for by 80% for 12 seconds. Wait, is that the same? Okay, yeah, it's the same. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sand Clone is summoned. Yeah, so you use this with a rebellion weapon. And then you just like do a crit build. Let's see. Skills. Let's try something else. A different build. Attack range by 50%. Install electric net on the ground to reduce enemy speed by 20%. Blinking Thunder Step. One additional charge attack. Decreases the defense of enemies that got hit by it for 20%. Wait, that's a ranged attack. Lightning bolts. Okay, so I think if you want to build a melee, Yukikaze, Clone Yukikaze, you need to be her at 81. Because you'll want this. Speaking of, I do want to, let's double check the Heaven Road. Upon using skills, recovers 3% of lost HP, damage don't increase. That's really good. Yeah, I want that. I want that. I need it. Need it. Have to have it. I do like her base outfit. Her base outfit's so good. I actually have the statue, like the official like statue made by Lilith, and I have like the EX version, which comes with like all the lightning effects too. And I think it comes with like tentacles if you want the loot version, but I'm probably not gonna use that. Also, it recognizes type shooter as skills, so proc skill on normal attacks. That might be a bug, but that just makes her really, really good, even if it isn't a bug. Like, if that's intended, she's basically immortal. I can't imagine that they'll nerf it if it isn't a bug, like if it's intended. Type shooter, yeah, that recognizing type shooter as a skill is, I think, way too busted. I can't imagine they'll nerf it though, because have they nerfed anything in the past? I don't think they have. I don't think they ever nerfed anything. Yeah, it's a bug. Normal weapons don't recognize yellow. Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, I guess if the nerf is because it's bugged, they would fix it, but I don't think they've ever, like, nerfed anything officially. I can't think of something that they would, like, nerf officially. Even if it doesn't immediately cast Miona or impact into a full heal. Oh, it activates on like every hit, doesn't it? And Miona impact hits like a billion times. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Two more missions, and then I'll start messing around with different builds. I think I'm going to try the red build last, because the red build is the one I'm most interested in. But I do need to get Pirate to Bond 5. I do like Akatsuki. The fact that like Akatsuki pulls in a bunch of enemies is very nice. God, she has a nice ass. That's oof. They knew what they were doing when they were modeling her hindquarters. They really did. They're like, what she doesn't have in the front, she makes up for in the back. Nice. Nice. I think I can just, yeah, ult when the boss spawns. I don't think that'll kill the boss, but I hope that'll kill the trash mobs. Yep, kill the trash mobs. Oh wow. Ow. Ow. Still under 30 hits, which is good. That's what I want. Oof, that was close. Barely made that one. If I got hit one more time, I would have been put under 50. And I don't think I have any self-sustain on this build. Hell yeah. Alright, I definitely can't do the bonus with Yukikaze at this level. I did get a commander rank up though. Alright, let's spam. That's a very shiny suit. Alright, level 40. Now it's basically speedrunning the ascension process. And then once Purit gets to Bond 5, I'm going to switch to build, which should be right now. Bond 5, Purit. Okay, alright. Now let's do a blue build. Because I also need to get Miss Murdering bonded. So, blue units. You don't have any Tasma or blue balloon stash? Makes this process easier. I do. I haven't used it though. Fortitude increase. Okay, debuffed enemies. Damage dealt to human enemies by 10%, taken from machine enemies minus 10%. Speed of demon type enemies by 3% for 4 seconds. This could be really good for... Yeah, that's a good point. Well, critical hit does not occur. This might be really good for like a ranged Yukikaze, maybe. Boss damage, critical rate of ranged enemies. Oh, ranged attacks. Oh, this is really good. I mean, maybe? No, Mjolnir Impact is purely green. Like, so you want to make a green build, but you can use this. I like this. Lightning summon. Wait, stay away from blue. Yeah, understandable. Yeah, I can see it right now. Just like looking at the bonuses of these skills, they're not good. Her blue skills use even with no slot effects. This thing just looks really cool. I'm probably gonna use either a red build or a green build for clone Yukikaze. But the main reason I'm doing this is so I can get the bond for Miss Marine. Green for range and red for melee. Yeah, I was thinking of using a melee build. Yeah, that attack just looks cool. Blinking Thunderstep isn't bad. I forgot to use the balloon, so I'll do that, or like the talisman or whatever. I can do that after this mission. Oh, that just blew him away. Okay, so let's see. Material. I forgot how many crystals you need to like get to 87 or whatever, but I don't think 20 is enough. So it's just one of these, right? Max AP, max BP, nope. Is it this one? All characters 50%. 300% for an hour. No, I'll use this. And then this as well.
号令をかけてくれ。準備はできている。
Wait, hang on. I don't need to use an item because I have 1,000 AP just saved up in there because I can. Yeah, I wasn't really impressed with like the blue build and just that like one run that I did. Holy moly, that's a lot of EXP. Okay.
私にまだこれだけの可能性が残っていたとは。
I should use her skill points. Alright, let's get Miss Murdering to max bond, and then let's try a red build. That'll be fun. Yeah, I'm leveling up so fast with that yellow talisman. Holy crap.
私にまだこれだけの可能性が残っていたとは。
Oh wait, before I waste all my skip tickets on this, I should do this real quick. Even faster use Heavy Sheikah. That is true. I think I have a few of those saved up, but the thing that's like kind of moving me away from using the Heavy Sheikahs is that the Heavy Sheikahs give you like that extra skill slot, and I don't want to get used to the skill slot. Alright, let's come up with a red build now. No, that's a raid supporter. When being restored. Restoration effect. That's demon support, so maybe not. That's true. Huh. Damage dealt by character switched in for 3. Okay, that's not too useful. That's demon support too. That's suppress support. Target speed for 5 seconds when hit every 5 seconds. Heal type allies. Increase the damage dealt to all enemies by 24. That's not bad. Critical damage of human type characters. Slash nearby. You want that Fumo Mane? You think so? Oh, yeah. That's just for building. I was like, oh, for strong build? No, it's just get that extra skill points. I forgot to change skills. I'm stupid. Phantom Lightning looks really cool. I also like how she says Shiranui, which is like kind of like a reference to her mother, even though this is like versions of clone and not the adult Yukikaze. So I think that's kind of cool. Ow. Okay, that was the wrong skill setup. So I'm going to try this again once I change my skill setup. So let's see what I want to do. I want to use Akatsuki. 4 additional attacks. Okay, that's nice. Lightning Web, I think is one. Yeah, I wanted that. Thunderblade Frenzy. That's not bad. Red skill, Akatsuki, Web. I do want to try Lightning Waltz with this. But for now, yeah, I think this is the best I can do. That's not bad. Yeah, this is like really... I can feel this build being really strong already. I'm wondering if the 81 skill will be better, but for now, I think I like this build a lot. I think I like the red setup the most. I could probably optimize the supporters a little bit more, but for now, I think this is good. Yeah, it's just unfortunate I'm not level 81 yet, so. I'm getting there, though. I'll get there. I'll probably just use up my skip tickets just to like get to 81 faster. Oh, you know what? Hang on. I do want to check this though. Collection. Hang on, let me check my club. Collection, characters. I'll check that later. I'll end the stream with that. So we'll like level up Yukikaze a lot, and then I want to get Yukikaze to 81, and I'll try the bonus levels, because I think she'll be able to handle it once I get to that point. Once I get to the bonus level, or level 81 for the bonus levels. I'm broke.
君か道具管理が大変なら手伝おうか。君か出立前にみんなに顔を見せてやれ。
Oh, right, and you get more of these. Yeah, pretty sure I could just cheat those in with the, where is it? The friendship bags? Or is the boxes up here? Here we go. Need 15 tokens, yeah. I'll just get more, because I have plenty of those boxes. Wait. No, I need level, or a center first. Also 5 more for every attempting exchange facility. Yeah, I mean, I can do that. Oh wow, 77 already? Okay. That talisman really does work. When it comes to like increasing the amount of XP that you're getting. Again? Wow, that's fast. Gold is not daily. Saves you a bunch of operation manuals. That's true. You do raise a very good point. I can use those for like speedrun leveling up my characters. Alright, lightning bolts. So that's a sender again. I don't have the gold for it. Unfortunate. That's a waste of knowledge. You want to get the friendships for that? Oh yeah, they took out the store. You sell Golden Week gift box, you sell BP gift box, you sell AP gift box. Golden Week AP event. Golden Week BP event, Golden Week. Alright, let's use those gift boxes real quick. What do we have in here? Okay. Let's see here. Can I get everything is at least 20? No. In no way. Okay, that's 20. And then... So instead of Thunderbolt Frenzy, I want to use Lightning Bolts. Ooh, that is nice. Okay, yeah. I think I want to do a red build for Yukikaze. Lightning Waltz is just so cool. It's such a cool move. Yeah, I like this. Yeah, I'm not even like max investment yet, so this feels really good. I'll probably just blow more with the ult. Yep, it's a go with the ult. Nice.
少しどこに行くんだ?
Oh, hang on. Let's see, I have skill points I can use on her, so I'm going to use that real quick. Okay, alright. Can I get everything at 20? That's like the main thing I want. No, I can't. Oh yeah, the rank pass increased too. I forgot about that. And I forgot to ascend her again. Because I don't have the money for it. I did get some, yeah, I did get some gold. Snuff? No, it's not enough. It's fine. I can just do this. I kind of wish that if you had the 2K coins, it would just automatically give you everything as opposed to having to wait for all this. How many gacha coins do I have? Can I check? The yield is randomized, so it's probably hard to compress them on a single animation. I'm inclined to agree, but you also need to remember that they, not too long ago, gave us the ability to do like 50 pulls with gachas. So, and I mean, if you're just gonna buy the entire thing all at once, then damn. Okay, bad luck. Because we have like the 50 pull for the gachas here, so. Alright, first, let's play with this build some more, use up my stamina or my AP, and then I'll do the bonus once or twice, and then I'll do the bond event for Yukikaze, and then we'll call the stream. Oh, that's so cool. Gold Gotcha has a constant pool. Events, however, change price constant. Yeah, I mean, look, I get it, but it's like I get that the event pools have like the different prizes, but I mean, it's not exactly going to be random if you just like buy the entire thing outright, you know? Or maybe even just like make it so you can buy 50 at a time, like with enough tickets. I don't know. Look, I feel like those solutions that they could do, because they kind of prove that it's possible. But I mean, you know, I'm just being an impatient dickhead. Probably too lazy to do it. I feel like it'll happen eventually. Oh, I just got interrupted there. Alright, so let's see. Actually, should I? I mean, I could. I know it's not the daily quest today, but it's gonna cost 300 AP. I'll wait till tomorrow. I'll wait till tomorrow. I'm not like hurting to like math level up right now, so. I feel like Akatsuki might be a little weak because you're not completely invulnerable during it. You can get knocked out of it, but I mean, for the most part, it's pretty good as like, it's good as like a mob clear. Didn't notice what. They can get knocked out of Akatsuki. Yeah, Akatsuki doesn't have super armor. It's kind of disappointing. Good thing you're using green. Yeah, I'm using the red build. I'm gonna use the red build. I like the red build a lot. Of course, I should probably like have a preset green build, like in the chamber, just because I need it. I don't blame you for using green though. Green feels like feels like a better build, honestly. Red just is more fun for me. Refresh. Let's see. Event story. I do have enough.
私にまだこれだけの可能性が残っていたとは。
Oh, cracking my neck feels good. I probably shouldn't do it, but... Raigeki... Wait, was that Raigeki Renbu? Is that what she says? It sounds like Raigeki Renbu, but I don't think that's correct. She's definitely not saying waltz. If I'm correct saying, if I'm correct and she's saying Renbu, the lightning waltz is kind of like a bad translation. Because if she's saying Raigeki Renbu, she's basically just saying a lightning combo. Lightning web. Enbu. Sounds like she might be saying Enbu. Raijin Akatsuki. Okay. Hang on. Alright, let me hit up a... Enbu. Why is it detecting? Hang on. Okay, never mind. She's saying Embu, which is dance performance, which would waltz is probably a good translation there. Okay, false alarm. That's a good translation. She's saying Raigeki Embu. Sakura also has messed up dialogue on skills mostly on her shadow spin and Cleave they have mixed up. Really? Interesting. I mean, it won't be the first time that like it feels like a line is meant for a different one. I play a lot of For Honor, and it's like I'm a Warden main, and I play the female Warden. And the female Warden's like speaks Latin, or Warden in general, like the Knights in general speak Latin for the most part. And when the female Warden uses like the shoulder bash, she says Tesakabo, which means I'll cut you. For the shoulder bash, which is not really like, I don't know, it doesn't fit considering like the other one is like the other voice line she has is when you get the counter strike and she says Peri, which is perish. But it feels like Tesakabo should be her for the counter strike because she's actually cutting them there, whereas with Peri it's just die. So, I don't know. Weird tangent, but you know, whatever. Shadow Cleave and Shadow Spin. Okay, I kind of want to hear that. But in this case, she doesn't actually have messed up dialogue. I was just wondering if it was a bad translation, but it's not. It's a good translation. It has my seal of approval. I don't have the money. I mean, I technically do. I technically do have the money, but I don't want to sell these tickets because I want to see how many I can collect. I want to see how many of these things I can collect. I could probably get that money another way. I mean, I could sell like devices or something. If I sell all these. That's all right. Never mind. Not worth it.
それでは行きましょうか。
That is a mob killer, definitely. This thing's kind of tanky. Ow. Oh, you gotta move. Interesting. Okay. Nice. Ninja bear. Ow. That sucks. I got knocked out of my Akatsuki. Okay. Hell yeah. Ow. Bear down. I guess this is where we fight the Taimanin, the stone one. I'm guessing this is the final boss room section. It's not technically a room, I guess. Yep. Ow. Oh, that was bad positioning. You have to be like right next to them to use that Akatsuki. Ow. Ult. Ow. Ow. Oh, that's not good, that's not good, that's not good. Shoot. That's not good. I know, right? Hair juggle. That juggle is so brutal. Once again. As long as they don't get like juggled again, I should be fine. Ow. Woo! That's close. You need to remove that. Oh. Either Celestial Fox or Choir Phantasm Shuriken, yeah. Oh. Ow. That's not good. Yeah, that defense buff is no joke. My Rinko would have melted that. My Rinko is just so strong. How many gacha coins do I have? I have 3. Okay. I can technically keep playing and get more. No, I'd have to do the. Okay. No, so I'm coming up on time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the bond event and then we'll close out. She's up here. One day in the mountain behind Gosha Village, in a place where hardly anyone would ever approach on that mountain, there stood a small 2-story cabin. No one in particular manages it, yet it's not completely abandoned either. This so-called secret base is a cabin that was built by the student members of the task force, of which Fuma Kotaro was the captain. They leave snacks, game consoles, manga, and other things to eat or play with, and drop by freely whenever they have time. And once they're done, they clean up and restock whatever they used. It's a secret base for everyone used under such a rule. And today, sounds of soft laughter could be heard from that secret base. The dialogue already is I already know what the dialogue is like. It's the innuendo. Oh, here we go. Typo. Tokito. Inside the cabin were Fuma Kotaro and Mizuki Yukikaze, or rather, she's a manufactured Mizuki Yukikaze based on her DNA, to be precise, an adult form of a clone with several adjustments made. When she was used as a clone soldier in a clone research facility, she awakened as Taimanin Mizuki Yukikaze. And amidst the chaos of the raid on the facility by the task force, she escaped. Now she has taken refuge with the DSO and works as an agent as per Kokawa Asuka's suggestion. She resolved to track down the clone Taimanin circulating in the underworld and save them from the grasp of evil if they were merely being exploited, and to carry out judgment upon them if they were clones that were committing evil out of their own will. But all the clone Taimanin she has met so far have all been either those that chose death, having been broken in spirit, or deranged killers who reveled in slaughtering. Between that merciless reality and the resolve she chose to bear, her body and mind have continued to wear down. This translation's fine. Technically, he should be saying, the subtitle should be saying, go ahead and eat. Or something like that. But try it should be fine. Like, contextual... In context, if you saw, like, the food, this, like, translation would be fine. Even though she seemed joyous and peaceful at this moment, talking with Fuma Kotaro. The last time they met at this cabin was purely by chance, but this time it wasn't. this is actually a continuation of the Punisher Yukikaze supporter event. I'm not surprised. In gratitude for Clone Yukikaze's homemade cooking before, Fuma invited her to the cabin this time to prepare a homemade meal for her in return. Yeah, I haven't read that one in a while. Oh.
さすがにそこまで上手ではねえだろ。
そうかしら？私の口にはぴったり合ってるんだけど。
This translation is not perfect, but it works because she says kuchi, which means mouth.
そうかしら？私の口にはぴったり合ってるんだけど。
I think the translation is to say something like, my mouth enjoys this all the same, or something like that. It works, but it could be better. Clone Yukikaze cut a piece of the wild cuts. Ooh. Ooh, steak. Well cooked steak and placed it in her mouth, smiling in satisfaction. Upon seeing this, Fuma was relieved.
ねえ、フーマ。何か面白い話とかない？
は？
Fuma was briefly taken aback by the unexpected question. At the same time, he couldn't help but smile, thinking she really is just another Yukikaze.
何でもいいから、あなたの日常的な話が聞きたいの。
ああ、日常な。
Oh, sorry. Now that she asks, he has to think about whether he even has any everyday life stories. Talking about the usual missions obviously wasn't an option.
日常と言っても、雪風が関わる話は避けた方が良さそうだな。
They were in the same task force and classmates at the academy. There was a high chance that Yukikaze would come up if the subject was of everyday life. If he avoided topics about Yukikaze, the already scarce everyday stories would shrink even further, but it can't be helped.
そうだな。では。で、上原先生や成田先輩に追い回されて、桜に裏切られて。大変だったんだよ。
Oh, he's talking about the I forgot which event it was. I think it's the I forgot her name. She has like the paper umbrella.
いや、さすがにそれはあなたが悪かったと思う、マジで。
Hikage, that's her
一
name.
番かわいそうなのは日陰ちゃんじゃない。
俺は桜にそそのかされたんだってば。
だとしてもよ、あの子を騙したのはさくらじゃなくてあなたなんだから。
He told her about how he skipped the makeup exam to attend a hands-on event for a new game, only to get scolded by the teacher afterward.
アスカったら私のことをまるで妹のように扱ってくるの。この前買い物に出かけた時だってそう。私は経験がないだけで記憶がないわけじゃない。それなのに人を上京したばかりの田舎娘みたいに。
She went on about the time she and Asuka went shopping together. The two of them grew animated, sharing ordinary stories unrelated to missions or incidents. But perhaps because of that, he spoke carelessly.
雪風のやつ、魚を取ろうと川に雷撃を落としちゃって。
Realizing his mistake, Fuma abruptly shut his mouth. While talking about the time they all went camping, he had inadvertently brought up Yukikaze. Fuma was flustered by having spoken about the memories with the real Mizuki Yukikaze, which the clone Yukikaze did not share. To that, clone Yukikaze just smiled.
確かに あの子ならやりかねないわ。
ああ、だよな。
Fuma quickly responded, cautiously watching her expression. Seeing how she regarded herself and the real Mizuki Yukikaze as completely separate people, he couldn't help but feel a little conflicted.
なあ、Yukikaze。
This would be kind of confusing when you have two Yukikazes.
俺以外の他の人たちと会ってみたくはないか。例えば、凛子先輩とか、蛇子や鹿之助たちクラスメイトとか。
Wait.
例えば、凛子先輩とか、蛇子や鹿之助たちクラスメイトとか。
This one's fine. Or even.
雪風とか。お前さえ良ければ、俺の方から話を通しておくから。
Clone Yukikaze looked startled for a moment, but soon her expression turned faintly sad as she shook her head.
友達を紹介してくれるのは魅力的な提案だけど、私には使命があるの。使命を果たすまではそれはできないわ。
そうか。
それに本物の雪風ならきっと私のことなんて大嫌いなはずよ。
Be kind of weird.
そうかな。
Fuma tried to imagine Yukikaze despising the existence of her own clone, but
私を大人の体に成長させたクローン。
Yukikaze imagined.
ちょっとなんで成長させた姿なのにそこだけはそのままなのよ。
She could be angry like that, so while pointing at her chest, or
見た目は年上に見えるけど、私のクローンってことはつまり実際は年下。私の妹に当たるってことよね。
she might try acting like an older sister. Her such reactions can be easily be imagined.
親族嫌悪したり拒絶する姿は想像がつかないな。最近悪いこと続きで自分自身について悲観的になっちゃったせいだと思うけど。
ごちそうさま。本当に美味しかったわ。
While he was lost in thought, she seemed to have already finished her meal.
ああ、皿はそのまま置いといて。俺が片付けるから。
いいわよ。ごちそうになったお礼ということで皿洗いぐらいは私がしておく。
Clone Yukikaze headed towards the sink to clean up the plates. But then, she sensed something unusual.
待って、誰かが来る。
Someone was approaching the cabin. No one had been expected to come, but this place had been made as somewhere anyone could drop by at any time without any plans. Just like when the two of them first met, they should have thought of the possibility that someone might show up on a whim by pure coincidence.
一応片付けて。あ、いや、どこかに隠れて。
片付けるって言っても食事の後はどうするのよ。にゃーはははは。
While they were panicking, the sound of approaching footsteps and a light humming could be heard. There seems to be no attempt to hide their presence, judging by the sound of their unguarded and relaxed footsteps. It was an upbeat tune, recognizable even from a distance.
まさか。
The one approaching was none other than Mizuki Yukikaze herself.
どうしよう。今から逃げても間に合わない。いや、もしバレて追撃でもされたらさらに大ごとになるわ。
Well, the obvious answer is you just have the clone hide by herself. Because Fuma being there wouldn't be strange.
あ、では、いや、ダメだ。どうすれば。
Come on, Fuma, you're smarter than this. But then again, this is a shonen harem anime. So everyone's stupid when it comes to stuff like this. Running from the cabin was impossible, but he couldn't let the two of them come face to face either.
あそこの部屋。
An idea suddenly flashed through Fuma's mind after some thoughts. Almost at the same moment the cabin door opened, the two of them slipped into the wardrobe in the inner room. The wardrobe made a loud clunk, but fortunately the sound was drowned out by the door opening, so they were able to avoid being discovered by Yukikaze standing by the entrance. I'm holding my hands up. You can't see it because of my model, but I'm holding my hands up right now. Of course we're getting caught. Footsteps passed through the entryway. The sound of Yukikaze walking around inside the cabin echoed. After the sound of a brief check inside, her slightly disappointed voice could be heard. Little did you know, Yukikaze, they haven't left yet. With a slightly irritated tone, Yukikaze's footsteps gradually faded away. I find it mildly amusing that she's in her Taimanin suit, while Fuma Kotaro is just in his school uniform. The two whispered to each other in hushed voices. They had jumped into the wardrobe in a panic, but it was extremely cramped and stifling inside. Why is Fuma hiding? He doesn't need to. Even as they spoke, Yukikaze's footsteps and voice continued outside. Clone Yukikaze flinched and averted her eyes, but Fuma didn't see that. As she muttered to herself, something clattered outside the wardrobe. From the sound of her saying the controller cable it seemed she had found the console and was setting it up. She's gonna notice the stuff in the kitchen. The sound of light footsteps moving. It's headed for the kitchen. Fuma didn't need to hide. He did not need to hide. Brother, what are you doing? You're supposed to be the smart one. The footsteps stopped, followed by a startled voice. She raised her voice and began clattering plates and frying pans. Her movement stopped at those words. Yeah, she's not an idiot. What's wrong with you, Fuma? You should know this. In a panic, Clone Yukikaze clamped a hand over Fuma's mouth. They were already pressed close together, but they're now even closer. They were close enough to hear each other's breathing, perhaps even the pounding of their hearts. No, they actually could hear it. Fuma and Clone Yukikaze desperately tried to move without making a sound. They're pressed tightly together inside the wardrobe with barely any air circulating. Was it their body heat or the tensions what slowly began to soak into their clothes?
何？どうしたのよ？
いや、なんでもない。
There was no way he could say something like, something smells nice in here. For a moment, he even considered easing the tension by asking something like, what shampoo do you use? But if he asked that now, there was no way it would just slide by. While Fuma wrestled with his thoughts, Clone Yukikaze was also in turmoil. She had never been particularly conscious of it before, but being pressed this close to him made it impossible not to notice. She's noticing Bro's muscles. This wasn't the first time meeting face to face, but never at this distance, close enough for their breaths to mingle. She desperately suppressed the impulse to reach out and touch his arms and chest. Flustered, Clone Yukikaze averted her eyes, trying not to dwell on it. Meanwhile, Yukikaze paced around the cabin, seemingly searching for someone. Maybe by 10 or 15 minutes at most, she speculated with a sigh. Whether she gave up searching or simply lost interest, Yukikaze headed back toward the TV area. Fuma and Clone Yukikaze quietly felt relieved that she didn't check inside the wardrobe or the drawers, but at that moment... Bzzz. From somewhere inside the cabin, the unmistakable vibration of a mobile device could be heard. Bzzz. The mobile device in Fuma's pocket began to vibrate as he hid in the wardrobe. Because of the awkward position he'd taken while hiding, even pulling the device out of his pocket was difficult. After a few seconds had passed, which felt like minutes, Fuma finally managed to take out his mobile device. But perhaps due to a panic, Fuma couldn't even properly press the decline button, and seeing this, she formed a tiny electric spark from her fingertips and disabled the device on the spot. But... with this, the sound of firmer footsteps approaches. Just throw hands. Even as they argued, Yukikaze's footsteps grew steadily closer. Unlike earlier when Yukikaze was only half convinced, now she'll definitely look into the wardrobe since she's certain someone is here. He thought of one way to get through this situation. Fuma Kotaro bursts out of the wardrobe. He leapt out dramatically, deliberately making a loud crash as he tumbled across the floor. Fuma spoke, letting out a relieved sigh. She She says closet. Technically, whatever. I'm not gonna harp on it.
そりゃ隠れてたに決まってるだろ。
Obviously, I was hiding.
だから
Tease her a little, throw her off her cool judgment, then mix in just enough truth to sell a ridiculous excuse.
やるしかない。いや、ちょうど予定もなかったから一人で料理の練習したりのんびりくつろいでたんだよ。
それがなんでクローゼットに隠れる行動につながるわけ？
そりゃあトキコが捕まえに来たのかと思ったから。
私小屋に入ってから結構ペラペラ喋ってたと思うけど。
Yeah, that's not a good lie. Remembering all the things she had been muttering to herself, Yukikaze looked slightly embarrassed. But then she quickly shot Fuma a sharp glare. Yeah, Tokiko catching strays. Yep, Yukikaze caught him out. Indeed, there was nothing that could lead to the confusion between Tokiko's and Yukikaze's voices, but only if it were any other normal situation.
そうか？俺は気配を察してまっすぐ隠れてたからな。
Okay. I'm going to predict this. Yukikaze is going to mention the fact that Fuma has known Yukikaze and Tokiko long enough that even if they were muffled by a wardrobe, he would not confuse them.
何か喋ってるのは分かってたけど、クローゼットの中では誰の声かまでは判別できなかったんだよ。
She looked him over from head to toe with blatant suspicion, as if appraising him.
本当だってば。なんならお前も入ってみるか？
That was a poor choice of words, brother.
今から俺が玄関のあたりから喋ってみるから、聞こえるか確認してみろ。
She boldly pointed out the wardrobe as he made the suggestion. Of course, it was a pure bluff. Yukikaze didn't withdraw her doubtful gaze, but she was flushed from noticing how his body was nearly visible beneath his clothes, drenched in sweat. Saying that Yukikaze was about to leave the room with the wardrobe, but she stopped by the door and looked back at Fuma. Okay, I was wrong.
分かってるよ。そもそもそうするつもりだったのに、お前が現れてできなくなったんだから。
I'm gonna predict the next part. Yukikaze is gonna leave, and then she's gonna come back remembering she wanted to play video games. Saying that in disbelief, Yukikaze headed toward the living room where the TV. Oh, okay. Yukikaze nodded firmly. It felt like she had heard from someone that the mission isn't over until we make it back safely. Just then, Yukikaze's voice caught out from the living room.
遠慮しておくよ。汗だくで気持ち悪いし、早速帰ってお風呂に入りたいからな。ねえ、フーマ、片付け終わったら対戦しない？
負けたらアイスおごりで。
Yeah, that's a fine translation. That works.
いいじゃん、一回くらい。
As Fuma chatted casually with Yukikaze and headed toward the kitchen, clone Yukikaze was now left alone.
ふうま、私をかばって自ら犠牲になって。
Why would this be a risk? Is this what it felt like to be protected by someone?
こんな感情は初めて。
Blushing, clone Yukikaze muttered in an excited voice, but no one heard her. A short while later, Fuma and clone Yukikaze were walking along a mountain path. Ah, okay. Thanks to the time Fuma bought her, she managed to escape safely.
本当に怖かった。
いやマジで怖かったな。普段の潜入ミッションよりよっぽど緊張する瞬間だったよ。
本当にそう。あ、でも
After a brief pause, clone Yukikaze gave a slightly playful smile.
正直に言うと少し楽しかったわ。
今のな。
ほら、体験型のホラーゲームみたいであるでしょ。
Oh yeah,
クローゼットに隠れて化け物や殺人鬼から逃げるっていう。
that's definitely Yukikaze.
ああ、まあわからなくはないかな。
Comparing it to a game was unexpected, but moments like this reminded him that she really was just another Yukikaze.
それに何より風磨と私二人だけの秘密ができたような気がするでしょ。それが一番嬉しい。
Oh, that's wholesome. Caught off guard by her bright smile, Fumo simply nodded and said, I guess so.
まあとにかく雪風が楽しかったならそれでいいかな。もう遅いし町の外れまで見送ろうか。
いいわ。早く帰らないといけないんでしょ。ここまで一緒に来てくれただけでもう十分だから。それにもしあの子があなたを追ってきたりしたらまずいことになるでしょ。
追ってくるかな。また何か手伝うことがあったり一緒に遊びたいときはいつでも連絡してくれ。
ありがとう。って携帯端末。
ん？ああ、そうだったな。
Only then did Fumo pull out the device he had forgotten about and check the power, but it wouldn't turn on.
これ完全に言ってるだろうな。
ごめんなさい。慌てててそれしか方法が思いつかなくて。
まあ仕方ない。緊急事態だったんだし。
Watch, it was like Tokiko or something calling him.
でもこのままにしておくのはさすがに悪いって。
He's in trouble now.
必ず賠償するから少しだけ待ってて。
Promising to send him a new device later, clone Yukikaze parted ways with Fuma. From here on, she would be returning alone.
今日の経験ってなんかあれみたいだったね。
Remembering the two of them hiding together in the wardrobe, clone Yukikaze let out a small laugh. When she thought of it like running away from the scene of an affair, she suddenly felt what seemed like a sense of guilty thrill.
なんだろうこの気持ちは。
A sense of guilt toward the original Yukikaze, and at the same time joy at having gained a memory shared with Fuma, just the two of them. A flutter stirred in her chest. Smiling so faintly that she didn't even realize it herself, clone Yukikaze headed back toward the DSO. Afterward, via the DSO, the latest model mobile device was sent to Fuma Kotaro. Under the pretext of a security inspection, its contents were checked, and since nothing unusual was found, it was delivered to him as is. Just one thing, there was one saved contact as the first contact in its list. It seemed to be the contact detail of the person who sent the device. That's cute. That's cute. I guess I shouldn't have expected any like interaction between Clone Yukikaze and the real Yukikaze, because this is the character bond event. But yeah, it's cute. I liked it. I liked it. All right, that is a good place to end it. All right, so let's see if I can raid someone. Who is ready to raid? Also, my game froze. Bro got the latest model phone effortlessly. Yeah, man, shonen harem protagonists are both different. All right, looks like it's Shinomiya. Hang on, can I raid? Let's raid Miss D SQT. There we go. All right. Tomorrow's Rune Nurse. Same time as usual, and I will see you all later.